My name is Luke Williamson. I'm the Procurement Manager for Vital Human Resources Limited, which is part of the Mawson Group. Apart from dealing with all the procurement issues that we have, one of the things that I have been dealing with is the mobile phone contract, and also tagged onto that is the call recording platform. So we have a particular branch over in Market Raisin that is the office for our possession management team, and it was identified, I'll say approximately 18 months ago, that it would benefit us by having some sort of mobile call recording platform because of the sensitivity of the information and the safety aspect of the job, very critical. And having done some research, there were a couple of platforms out there, and it basically came down to two platforms that we're looking at. One of them being a cloud-based application where it was a three-way call connect and there was a little bit of delay, and the second being the one that we're using now, where the information is recorded on the device itself and then pushed out to the cloud for data storage purposes and retrieval. So whilst we've identified this platform and brought it in, and it's gone through various changes over the last year, of which we've been a party to, the application itself has been growing, but the driving force behind all of this is the collection of GPS data, so we know where people are, the text information and the call recording information. On top of this, there is photographic and video information which we can but have not as yet fully utilised. The reason for all of this is that the information passed between our possession management staff is quite critical with regards to who can or cannot go on the railway lines, or what work is being done and the time, so they need to quite clearly define what the parameters are. What we found was previously, and this is what we were trying to eradicate or lessen, was the instances of where there were misunderstandings, miscommunication, accusations made, levelled, which involved people sitting around tables potentially for hours on end, that came about as a result of all this. So the call recording and the texting virtually eliminates that, simply because it is hard fact, it's there, it can be listened to. So instead of having 6 people sitting around a table potentially going on for weeks on end whilst it's an investigation, it's an absolute. We can download the call recording or the GPS information or the text, send that information off and say this is what was sent, and a resolution, whichever way it goes, is pretty much immediate. So that brings about one of two things. Number one, you're not wasting all this time whilst you're investigating what did or didn't go wrong, or indeed what information didn't or didn't get passed. But also the person in question, who may have transgressed or may not in some instances, normally would be stood down pending this investigation. What this means now is, depending on the outcome, that person can return immediately to work. So there's lots of savings that can be got in there, not necessarily hard savings as in pounds, shillings and pence, but the soft savings are, how do you quantify people sat round in a meeting and the length of time it takes to resolve certain issues. Not being myself directly in contact with the staff, I have had feedback from their manager, and originally there was a certain amount of reticence about being given something that could track their every move, record their every text and all their conversations. I think now that they've been using it for a substantial amount of time, that they realise that this is not being used as a big stick to find out what's gone wrong, but it is predominantly for everybody's safety, and also to speed up any safety aspects that need to be resolved out of all of this, whether it be from Vital Human Resources perspective or Network Rail's perspective. this has got to be a great saving of time, energy and manpower. Plus, on top of that, you have to bear in mind that this can also be used as a training tool for when something does go wrong, or indeed right. You can take both aspects and show this is how you should do it, this is how it shouldn't be done. We can all learn from this, and the communication does get better because people tend to learn more from mistakes than they do from getting it right every single time. With regards to our major client and the possession management side of things based out of our Market Raising office, the information feedback that I'm getting is that it has been exceptionally well received. It is liked, it saves time, energy and money, I can't reiterate that enough, and that certain things can be dealt with immediately from either side, and you can't really put a price on that, knowing also that it is secure and they have access to it insofar as we send them the information as and when requested, even on a dip check basis, just to make sure everything is going well. And as far as I'm aware, there have not been any complaints put forward, only good news has come back.